Welcome to Moments with the Mobleys. I am your man, Johnny Mobley Jr.
And I am your girl, Deirdra Mobley.
And we something like ordinary couple.
With extraordinary purpose.
She's still rocking these Santa Claus.
They can't see him. Mind your business.
Y'all go and watch the car wash episode.
Greetings, salutations, accolades, and blessings. And he is referring to when he straight busted me out.
I don't think I busted you
on
out.
the reel on Saturday with my Bed Bath and Beyond Christmas slippers that I have, and he has a pair as well.
First of all, we was chilling, watching TV, and I said, hey, I think I'm going to go wash the truck. She, in return, says, okay, well, I'm going to come and help you. All right. I'm going to go ahead and get started. You come on out when you're ready. She busts out the door with a do-rag on and a bonnet and these Santa Claus slippers on, and put her hand on both of her hips and said, where you need me at? What? All this water I have, what you gonna do with bam shoes on, Deirdra?
I was going to.
That's what I was thinking.
I could have rinsed the truck off from a distance, or I could have gotten to where maybe a dry spot was and got in the truck and cleaned the windows or something.
So when you said where you need me at, that wasn't the question you wanted. You wanted to say, give me the water hose, and that's what I do. I rinse the truck off.
I just wanted you to use me. I just wanted you to assist you with washing the vehicle.
Anyway, then she got upset with me, talking about, you done showed me with this bonnet on. And I said, every woman in the nation has a bonnet.
Not every woman.
Everybody.
That's a false statement.
Everybody got a bonnet.
Every woman in the
at some
nation
point in
does
life,
not have a bonnet.
At some point in time in their life, they've had a bonnet.
Not every woman.
Yeah, it is.
I beg to differ.
Well, answer me this, because I got a good friend of mine that watch our podcast, and he asked a very good question.
What did he say?
He said, why you got a bonnet on with a temp fade anyway?
Are you really going to follow up Corey Jackson and ask me that? This episode is finished for tonight. This goes down in history as our quickest episode ever in the history of Moments with the Mobleys. That started in September or October of 2019.
CJ is a top fan, and he be on everything we do. And the one thing that he said was, first of all, what did he say about the nerve?
If you getting on my nerve was a person.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said. That's exactly what he said.
Yeah.
And as I so eloquently answered him, my hair was not cut. It had been, 2 weeks, a little over 2 weeks without a haircut. And so at that point, I didn't have a fade. I didn't have a fresh tape line or anything. So I literally rolled out of bed, took a quick shower, threw my clothes on. And so my hair there was no product in my hair. There was nothing. It hadn't even been brushed. So I put the bonnet on.
And when she came outside, in my mind...
In your mind, what happened?
This is what I said when I turned around and I
you
looked
saw
at her
all this
and
lusciousness.
I said, this is what I did. I said, just stay out here with me. You sure? Yeah, just stay out here with me. And in my mind, I was saying, what the you going on with these bedroom shoes at? Who you finna help with these bedroom shoes? That's what I was saying in my mind. But I ain't say it to her. I just took a deep breath.
You didn't.
I said,
you didn't say it to me. However, you let me sit down. Let me get my chair and sit down.
I did.
And then you made me turn the camera on so you could record yourself.
No, so I was not
throwing me under the bus.
Been on social media. The reason it got on social media is because while I'm out here, I'm washing the truck. All I hear is, hey, happy Saturday. We are out here washing the truck. I'm like, we? Why would you say we?
Because we're one.
We're washing the truck.
Are we one or not?
We're washing the truck, baby.
Are we one or not?
Yeah, I said, yeah. What did you tell me to do?
Are we one or not?
We are one. We are one.
Because one day there will be no more black, church, or white. In his presence, we're all the same. And we've come together for one purpose, and that's to glorify his name. We are one.
I'm completely lost. I don't know what just happened.
That's Bishop William Murphy's song.
Girl, I was
that
completely
song called
lost.
We Are One. I know you were.
And then I'm like, what? Did we just shift?
My wife has had a brain fart.
We just shift?
No. That's his song.
That Saturday was funny to me. And then while I was doing it, when she did the whole Happy Saturday, and I said, no, I'm not finna do this. I'm finna tell these people what it is. And then that's what I did.
Johnny, I
did you just call me Donnie?
Johnny.
Oh, I'm about to say, girl, you about to get hit in your neck.
I said Johnny.
I'm about to say, cut the camera.
I'm not sitting here. Just never mind.
No, come on.
Just never mind.
No. Come on.
Because what are we doing?
We all right. I'm gonna behave. Come on. I love you. Come on, give me a kiss.
Love should have brought you home last night.
What? So you ain't got a rebuttal, so you just reciting words.
Reciting words from a song.
I don't understand.
Mob, you look really good.
You do too, babe.
Got a fresh cut.
You do too, babe.
Looking clean in these streets.
I'm trying to do what I do. I'm gonna need to take a before and after picture, y'all.
I started to take a before picture.
Yeah.
And do a before and after. Because we was raggy. Just a little bit.
When I got to my barber this morning, I was gonna ask him to take a picture. But then he started hitting me with some issues he was having. So I just took a deep breath.
Well, you're called to be salt and light in the earth and
like, what you got,
give answers to those that are seeking.
You're right.
With, support and what's the other word?
I don't know.
Well, you know
that's a song word. Too.
No, he was just looking for some, some direction. No guidance. That's it.
All right.
He values your opinion.
All right. So what we talking about tonight?
There's a thing called nature's ibuprofen that I want to talk to y'all about. And we talked about it on several episodes ago. And I just need I have one question.
Yes.
Thank you. That's all I needed. Okay, so what we're talking about
You ain't asked me the question.
You said yes before I even asked it, so I don't even have to ask it again. So I just needed you to say yes.
Okay. I guess.
Thanks so much. So guys, okay, so listen. I was roaming on, I think it was Instagram, maybe last week. And I ran across, we don't talk about, well, we do talk about stuff.
Can we show this video?
No.
Allison? We
do.
We can't show it because, why we can't?
Because we're not going to show it.
They need to hear, can they hear the audio?
So
I need you to play the audio.
Okay, so I saw a video that was on Instagram. It was a guy, I guess he was interviewing this lady, and it was on Instagram one day last week, and I kept telling hubby about it, and I thought that I shared it to myself, but I actually could not find it. And so I actually was able to find it right before we started the camera. It was, a woman says that a man that takes care of another man's child is weak. There's more women with children out of wedlock than men. Pick the right person the first time. And so I told hubby about this.
You said,
here it is,
that a man that takes care of another man's child is weak. That's what you said. Can you please explain why?
That's not your child. That's not your responsibility. Your intentions may be in the right place, but it's not. You're not going to benefit from it. It is very rare. I know y'all love to use Shaq as an example.
Shaq.
Shaquille O'Neal, I think he wasn't raised with a biological father.
Oh yeah, right.
But how often does that happen? That's very rare. And even so, children deserve both of their biological parents, which is why it's imperative for both men and women, but mainly women, because there's more women out here with children out of wedlock than men. Pick the right person the first time.
So now, what if that doesn't happen?
I don't know what to tell you. Focus on yourself.
No. Because you can't say. So you're saying that every man that takes care of another man's child is weak.
Yes.
It is impossible for every man to grow up. Well, right now, as we're talking, every man does not have a man in their life. Mm-hmm. Or every child and every boy and every girl does not have a man in their life. Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to turn it off, because basically she repeats the same thing again, and then goes on to say, she doesn't think that, a man works hard for his, why should he spend his hard-earned money on a child that's not his? And also she goes on to say that, I believe she says statistics said that children don't turn out any better, that, the children that are in a single parent household don't turn out, children who have a step father enter the home, they don't turn out any better than a child who just is in a single parent home with the mama, which is not accurate at all.
That is so false.
And so when I told hubby about this, of course, well, I'll let you tell them what you thought about it when I mentioned it to you.
So this is the first time I actually heard the video. And most of y'all know I have a very open mind when it comes to people and things, to try to rationalize what they're trying to do. First of all, what she said, everything that she said was very ignorant. I'm just gonna say that off the rip. I don't know if she have children. I don't know what the deal is, but it was very ignorant. I guess she was trying to make a point, but saying that a man is weak because he's raising somebody else's kids, weak was not the word she was looking for. It just could not have been.
Well, she said it over and over again.
Yeah, but it just.
So I think she was very clear on the fact that that's the word she wanted to use.
But this is the most ignorant jive I've heard somebody say in a very, very long time. Everything she was saying is false, and I honestly think she was saying this just to get attention. That's what I think. She just said a whole bunch of wrong stuff. Everything, not like one thing wrong. She said 4-5 things wrong. So yeah, that's not true. I've said before, a boy needs to have a man in his life to help him, to show him how to be a man. Period. There's some strong women out here. They can raise their kids. They can discipline them. But when it comes to being a man, nobody but a man can show a boy how to be a man. Period. Just like it's nobody but a woman can show a girl how to be a woman. So, yeah, she's absolutely wrong. And if I just think
it troubled you.
If the entire world thought like this,
right,
what type of trouble would we be in?
Yeah. Yeah.
What type of trouble would we be in? I wish I knew her name, because I'll blast her.
Well, you wanted to know the name and watch the rest of the.
I'll probably get in trouble.
That was just a little over 2 minute.
But yeah,
a little over a 2 minute snippet. We don't need no lawsuits and all these allegations, all that stuff. But at the end of the day, when I saw it, I said, "Let me send this to myself so I can show this to you." And of course, y'all, I end up. Between my personal and then the business page, I ended up losing it, and I just found it before we started recording. But at the end of the day, when she said what she said, and I actually thought maybe she was saying it the wrong way,
But she kept saying the same thing.
Right. And then I went back and I turned it back and listened to it again. But and like I told you when I mentioned it to you, I said, how in the world can a man who steps into a family with, first and foremost, he probably, falls falls for the woman, and then, gets to know her and then finds out that she has children. And then on top of that, if he loves the woman and wants to be with her, marry her, and take care, selflessly take care of those kids because they are an extension of the mama, then who's to say that he's a weak man? It just does not go together. You know what I'm saying? The excuse me. Must be a piece of hair or something in my mouth. It just felt crazy in my mouth. That's what it was. Why are you looking at me like that?
Well,
You all right?
You all right?
Yeah, it did. I just had to get it out of my mouth. And so, sweetie, Johnny want to know your name, but I don't even need to know your name. Don't repeat that again. Don't say that to nobody else again. Because when I first heard it, I was like, I don't know what has happened in her life or what situation that she was in or not in that would make her feel like they're weak. First of all, if they're want to be in a relationship with the mother and they accept the responsibility to take care of, because there are some men who walk into the situation and they take care of the child regardless of if the biological is there or not.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There are situations that, that I think probably we know of. Where,
several of them.
Yeah, where the biological parent is not maybe in the home, but they still take care of the child. And the step parent takes care of the child as well. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that because that's not your money, sis. You was speaking real hard like that was your money that he was getting from you to give to the family or to the child or whatever. On the contrary, the exact opposite is what's happening. That's what it is, an attribute of a strong man.
Yeah. That's definitely a characteristic of a strong man. And the sad thing is, she done said this, she done put it out on social media, it's in public. And if somebody is dating somebody that has kids right now and they don't know who they are, this can be
it could easily sway them.
Yeah.
God, I hope it don't, because she makes no sense at all. But
if a man falls in love with a woman and the woman has kids, and just like you said, if the biological father is not in their life or is, but that's what you do. It's a choice that a man and a woman makes in that situation. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think that's weak at all. I think that's strong. Just like it's strong for a biological father to stay with his kids and his family when he going through stuff. That's the epitome of a characteristic of a strong man.
Yeah. Yeah, an honorable man.
Yeah.
And then she went on to say she could see an exception if maybe the biological father passed away.
So let me ask you this.
Are you kidding me?
So my question would be to her. If the biological father passed away or the biological father is not in the picture, what's the difference?
He still ain't there, sis. Yeah, like what's the difference?
Yeah, he still ain't there.
There's no difference.
And the sad thing about this is every child that grows up and does have a stepfather, that still does not exempt them from wanting to know where their biological father is and why he's not here. Mm-hmm. Now that's truth. That's truth. So for somebody to step up and do this, I think it's the exact opposite.
Yeah.
I was literally trying to say, okay, well, maybe sis, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know what.
And your first thing was, well, maybe she's just trying to get some attention or some notoriety.
That's the only way I can think.
For making a comment like that. But think about all the benefits. And you know me, because I'm married to this man right here, and I'm going to go look up something and all these things. So I did. But just talking about it, it made me think about the fact that, okay, so there's a mom and she has a child or children, and she meets a gentleman who, you know, begins to form a relationship with her and loves her and love those kids and want to take care of them. And there are a lot of men who have even gone to legally adopt children, who the parent, the absent father is not there in the house for whatever reason. Excuse me, whether it be because he's deceased or he, you know, no longer wants to be in the child's life for whatever reason, relationship issues, and give up his parental rights. And there are men who actually adopt children of their, you know, now new wife. And so, but think about the benefits to the child. You have a child with an absent father, you know, that's not in the home, and then a stepfather enters the home, a good, you know, sane, God-fearing, just a great person who, and they may have children of their own after he, you know, marries her or whatever, after they're together. But he stepped up to the plate and doesn't treat, you know, maybe his, whether it's with her or whether it's somebody else, but don't treat her children as if they're any different from being his, because it is happening and it has happened and it will continue to happen. And so think about, I had a conversation with a person today, and I talked about this same topic to the person, and I said, have you ever been in that situation? And he said, you know, I have. He said, I actually have. And he said, and there was nothing wrong with it. I found there to be nothing wrong with it. He dated a woman who had a child. And he even went on to say that the child was maybe 2-3 years old. And he even went on to say how the child had gotten sick or something like that. And so he ended up meeting the person that the mom dated before she dated him. It wasn't the biological, but he had, taken to the child as well. So he came by to see the child, and, they were able to meet each other. Everybody was adults because the mom was no longer with the other guy, but they both, cared about the child to come and see. He was currently with the mom, but they cared about the child enough to go and see the child. So that didn't take away from them. If anything, that's them giving to that baby or to that child. And so I was like, it makes absolutely no sense for that type of situation to go on, or that type of comment to be made when you're not thinking about the child and how that could help the child. And again, me and the person was talking today, and I was like, people don't realize that, how a child is raised, it matters, because it affects what type of adult this person will become, what type of, elementary schooler, what type of middle schooler, what type of the long term, what type of high schooler, what type of, how they'll handle relationships, how they'll handle, daddy stuff, if they're going to have daddy issues or whatever. I said, so for a man to say, I love this woman and I'm going to take her child as my own, that's a beautiful thing, especially if it's a healthy relationship and they develop a good bond and a good relationship with that child. Yeah. And can pour into that child to support the child. And we even, and I told Johnny, we even broke it down into, the benefits of that stepfather being in there and person. And it don't even have to be limited to just be the daddy. It could be the other way around and be a stepmother. But at the end of the day, for a son, we were just solely talking about a stepfather at this moment. But for a boy, how that stepfather could be a role model, especially if the biological father is not around or deceased or whatever that looks like. But how that's going to, the boy will be able to glean from his stepdad and see how he's going to learn how to treat a woman, because he's seeing how this man is treating his mama. And hopefully it's in a good way, right? As well as showing him, how to be responsible and how to, take care of his family and just how to be a good law-abiding citizen, and a man with, strong values and work ethics and all these things, and that can be compassionate. And then we went on to say, think about how it would affect a little girl. And I went on to tell him how you, babe, used to tell our girls before they could really even comprehend, like, you're beautiful. And don't let nobody, tell you otherwise. Y'all are beautiful. You're worthy. You know what I'm saying? How you built them up and how you did things for them, more specifically on Valentine's Day or, special occasions or just because, but they saw the way that you treated me. And so that's what they grew to expect when they started dating and marrying and all these things. So, I said, who this man could now be taking her to daddy-daughter dances and eventually going through all these, changes and phases of life to, tell her when she has questions about guys or why they acting like this or why they acting like that, or it's just so many benefits to having somebody to step up and take that role. And so I don't know because we couldn't see the whole interview that this guy did with her. I don't know, because you kept saying like, well, he ain't gonna check on this. But he did at one point check her. He was like, no, how can you say that? Like, what proof do you have of that? How can you say that?
Well, I think it was a question that he asked her basically on what she said. And then her answer was, I don't know.
How can you explain it? Right. And he was like, no,
and he was like, no, you can't not know. Say you don't know.
Right. And then she went on to say, like, well, you
pick right
the first time. Baby, in a perfect world.
So, of course, I don't win and found
and it's not. In a perfect world, it's not going to happen.
So, Psychology Today, they have, what this is like 14 things just to get started of how not having a father in a child's life can affect them.
Yeah.
And it says, children's diminishes self-concept and compromise physical and emotional security.
Yeah.
2 is behavioral problems. Fatherless children have more difficulty with social adjustment and are more likely to report problems with friendship and manifest behavior problems. 3, poor academic performance. 71% of high school dropouts are fatherless. 4, delinquents and youth crimes, including violent crime. 85% of youth in prison have an absent father. Fatherless children are more likely to offend or go to jail as an adult.
So that comment about
this is just
there not being any,
things.
There not being any difference between a stepfather and then the mama raising them by themselves.
Promiscuity.
Promiscuity
and teen pregnancy.
Yeah. You looking for somebody to be your daddy because you didn't have one.
Yeah, drug and alcohol abuse. Homelessness. 90% of runaway children have an absent father. Fatherless children are more likely to smoke, drink, alcohol, abuse drugs in childhood and adulthood.
Yeah, it matters. It really does.
Yeah. And it just go on and on.
Yeah, and I know it does. And just like I said, we were, me and the gentleman, we were talking, and he was like, he said he basically was seeing, he could basically see a situation where because the woman didn't have a father in her life, like now she's in her 30s and she got daddy issues.
Yeah.
Because, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, because she, it messes with, and I thank God that even though we went through the stuff that we went through, that you stayed and you gave, this is one thing I told him. I said, when we knew better, when my husband knew better, he did better. When I knew better, I did better. We did better when we learned better. I said, so he poured into our daughters and made sure that they knew who they were, who and whose they were. And so, like you said, their self-esteem suffers when there's not that, role model in there to show them like how a woman is supposed to be treated. And, I remember you saying like, well, actually, I remember one of the girls saying like, can't no dude step to me and think he can just, buy me a rose and take me out for an expensive dinner and I'm just going to be goo goo gaga. Like, you got to ante up your game, sir, because my daddy done told me what it was, or my daddy has done it for me, or I've seen my daddy do it for my mama as well. So like, you can't just come to me petty and, think you going to run game because I don't know what it is to be loved by my daddy. Or you looking, we was talking about this too, because he was saying, I was telling him like, girls who are fatherless or whatever, Miss Lady who say the man is dumb for stepping in, or weak, should I say, that now there, I said, that person may be 36 in their, in their age may be 36, but in her mind, she's still back there.
Yeah.
When whatever happened, maybe daddy was a part of her life and then left from being in her life, or that relationship was severed, or just whatever. And another thing that I told him that I think that we've shared with you all before is that when we talk to couples, we asking about backgrounds. We want to know, were your parents married? If not, did they marry somebody else? Did you have a step parent in the home? Yeah. What were these relationships like?
And most of the time,
what are they saying?
Most of the time, they're saying their parents were not together, or their parents were together and one was abused, or their parents were together and the mama cheated or the daddy cheated. It was just all
very
kind of stuff.
Rarely, I think, do we get a...
And that's a mama and a daddy in a child life. So it ain't about... It's so much more than what she said. And I really pray that she educate herself.
Right.
Because when she said what she said, and then I wish I was interviewing her. That's all I can say.
You would have challenged her on so many levels.
Yeah, but
like,
I just...
Show me where you get these statistics. Yeah. Or where you said,
I probably would have just...
Statistics show.
I probably would have just started diving into her life and her background, which she probably wouldn't have. Now my questions are, do you have kids? Like, who are you with? You saying all this stuff, and if you ain't got no children, if you ain't got no man, if you ain't got all this stuff, then where are you getting this information from? This is just something that you feel, and everybody got the freedom of speech, and I got that.
Yeah.
But when you
can't be reckless.
Just toxic stuff, come on, man. Come on. And we got enough stuff going around in the world for a woman to be basically down in a man like that.
Absolutely.
Because he made a decision that he made. And just like my wife said, how you gonna tell people how to spend their money?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like I said, I don't know. I really think she's doing this to
for attention.
Yeah, because now she got us talking about it on our podcast.
Right.
So that's basically what she did it for.
Right. But we're also, y'all know we're gonna talk about stuff, especially when it deals with, children and families and all these things or whatever. But at the end of the day, it matters for that family unit, that parental unit to be in place, whether it is a mom and a stepdad, or it is a dad and a stepmom, for whatever reason, because sometimes that can happen in a relationship as well. There was something else that I was going to touch on as well, but I was the person that I was talking today, like he said, he was just asking the person, like, some of your characteristics are that you got daddy issues. And I think the person, I don't know if the person admitted to it or whatever, but he was like, I could just see that very clearly, that, that shows in how she deals with relationships with a man.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's sad to say, but it very well does happen, all the time. And like I said, when you get into thinking about how it's going to, how it could very much so change the trajectory of the child's life,
Yeah.
that's what I'm concerned about.
And so just sitting here just thinking, so what if her dad wasn't there and then she found out who her father was? She knew who her father was, but her father left her mom for whatever reason and just went and married somebody else and became the perfect family and wasn't there for her like he was there for his now children.
It could be. It could be from a place of hurt of what she was lacked or something like that.
I'm sure it's coming from that.
Hurt people
I'm sure
want to
it's
hurt
coming from
people,
that.
or they, you want, if you miserable, you want somebody else to be miserable about that or whatever. But at the end of the day, whether the statistic that was said, that's absolutely false.
That wasn't no statistic. She just said how she felt.
Right.
That ain't got nothing to do with no data, no statistic, no nothing.
You're right.
That's
absolutely
how
right.
she felt. That's all that was. And she just happened to be on camera and talking to a man.
Yeah,
that's all that was all that was.
That was some foolery is what that was. But at the end of the day, kudos to the brother who has stepped in and is taking care of, like I say, a healthy relationship, taking care of, taking the kids to, the football games, the basketball games, talking to them, listening to, what how they feeling about life, if they getting bullied in school, if they need to talk about, just with the change, especially with a boy and when he reached puberty and, girls, when boys start liking her, you can ask, your dad about it or just whatever. I'm grateful that, like I said, that both of us were in the home and we were, if I wasn't able to answer it, if it was a question about a guy that you needed to answer, you could answer it. But most importantly, like I was telling the guy today, most importantly, you were that, you were their first love, And you were their dad, you're their dad. And so for them, you were the person that walked them, granted I was too, but you were the person that made sure that on the first day of school, we was walking them to class.
Yeah.
Taking everybody to school and walking them to class. And, other kids would see that and they'd be like, oh, I want my, daddy to walk me to class, or I want my parent. Because I think one year, maybe I had to work or something. And so, remember, I think
I went by myself.
You went by yourself, I believe.
And I probably walked I walked my girls to class, but then it was some other kids that I knew that they wanted me to walk them to class, so I did. It
just goes beyond the whole thing. These everybody want to be political and technical and all these things, but at the end of the day, you got to think about the positive things that's going to come out of that child's life. Yeah. For somebody being unselfish, for somebody loving that mama and taking them as, as y'all might hear it said, as a package deal, or, my seed coming, is a part of the a part of this marriage. And you even see marriages where when the man proposes to the wife, to the woman, he asks the child, can I marry your mama? I've seen that happen as well. It's for me, it's a beautiful thing because it's enough, like Johnny said, negativity going on in the world. It's enough of all those issues that you read from, and that's off of that article.
Yeah, that's the statistics from 2023 already. So that's where we at. And I mean, those percentages, like the youth that usually wind up in jail or youth detention center or whatever, that's been, since I've been doing this stuff, that's been in the 70 percentile. And that's like for what, 15 years? So yeah, it's been there. So it matters. It really does matter.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think at some point being a stepfather, I'll say a bonus father.
Mm-hmm.
Being a bonus father is tougher, especially when the kid has grown up a little bit
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
already started like being angry at their biological father
Mm-hmm.
because he's not there, or some lie that was told to them about I'm not there because of your mama, or something. It's just something. So, you know, for a man to step in and still try to make that work, that takes a lot. That
Excuse
takes a
me.
lot. But yeah, when you marrying a woman and she has a baby already or a child already, you got to take the full package.
Yeah. But then steps in, and even if that's a biological, mom or dad, the step parent doesn't come in and try to bash the parent, the missing
Yeah.
parent or whatever, but just tries to say like, I'm not here to replace your, biological parent. Like I say, especially if they're still in the situation, in the relationship or whatever.
Yeah.
But just to enhance it, I found something on an article about the step relationship in community today, and it was saying step parents can fill a different role, and if it's done thoughtfully, the relationship they form can help that child immensely. They truly can have a unique and wonderful relationship with their stepchildren. The more adults that children have in their lives to love them, support them, and guide them, the richer their lives become.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
you got people that love you, support. You have a people who support a child in something. Then that's what they need. It's the child that does not have anybody that support them.
Yeah.
That does not have the mama who focuses on them. Whether she's working 2-3 jobs trying to hold it down, or whether she's trying to live her life because she ain't finna sacrifice her fun and her life for no child. However it is.
Yeah.
But the child is left alone. So a child will gravitate to someone's who they feel like they belong, regardless if that's positive or negative.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you got to have somebody in your life to do something. I'm right now to this day, I'm a part of people's lives, children and adults, who still need guidance, who still need direction, who still need to talk, who still need to do all this stuff. Just like Deirdra said, we counsel couples who got daddy issues and got mama issues and
now are adults in marriages,
Yeah.
and don't know how to have a relationship or
Because
struggle in some areas.
they done normalized
Yeah.
what they know was wrong, but now it's normalized. And then they fight so hard not to be that or do that
Yeah.
or whatever. But if you don't have nothing else to pull from, then you wind up doing it. You wind up doing it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the sister that said that, I just
Go
really
find something
pray.
else to talk about.
I just really pray that she just didn't do this. For I would literally rather it be her ignorance than for her to just say this and know what she's doing.
Right. Because the truth is, everybody don't get a lot of people don't get it right the first time, and I'm sure you don't.
Yeah. And we change. So when you get married, you think you marrying somebody, and then you meet their representative, and then you get married, and then 5 years down the line, you like, what the who?
That's a whole nother. Conversation.
Why your eyes black now? They was like hazel earlier. What's happening?
You look nice.
Why you got these lashes on? Your lashes waving at me. Where your teeth at? Why your left breast gone? I don't understand what's happening.
What in the world? Y'all, we about to go. We're finished talking about this subject. Clearly, my husband is unfocused at this point. Because how did we get to a left breast? I don't know. But yes, it's
one
just
breast bigger than the other.
Check your stuff before you
you're trying to make the breast.
Think about what you said. There's life and death in the power of the tongue.
And you
think about how you're using it.
Y'all
okay?
women, y'all know. Y'all know. And talking about the men too.
K, it's power. What we forgot to plug ourselves before we got in depth in the conversation. But for all things Mobleys, make sure you go check out momentswiththemobleys.com. Woo-hoo-hoo. We got 200 subscribers on YouTube. Whoop whoop. Praise Jesus. Thank you all who have subscribed. Encourage your friends and families or friends who have relationships that need help, or anybody for that matter, to go to YouTube and subscribe and share it and all that stuff, so you all can follow and listen to the episodes. You might get something out of just one something or two somethings out of an episode. And we appreciate y'all.
I just want to say the 500 people that are watching the videos and the episodes, subscribe. Stop just watching our job, man. Just hit the button, please. Just subscribe. You watch it faithfully on the regular. Stop it.
Thank you all for watching the reels and all of that stuff. And if you're not subscribed on YouTube, please go and do that for us.
Follow us.
I'm saying it in just a better tone or better light than Mr. Mobley is.
1,700 people that's watching all our stuff. Follow us.
All
subscribe.
Social media platforms, guys, as Moments with the Mobleys, except for Twitter. On Twitter, we're Mobley Moments. We appreciate you all immensely. Patreon, Mob Stars. We appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much. Don't forget to go and vote. We have until, I think, March 6th. So don't forget to vote. You can vote from one email per day. So if you have multiple emails, you can vote from all of them. And so for Best Podcast, Connect Savannah, so we can come in strong for year 2 as the best podcast in Savannah. We appreciate y'all. Don't we, baby?
We do. The 1,700 people I was talking about, I apologize if I sounded a little rough. Just subscribe. Like us.
Sleepy. He needs some dinner.
Subscribe and like us, please.
He needs some.
Y'all watch it every time we put something out. Y'all watching it.
Thank y'all.
Just go ahead and subscribe.
Baby, say good night.
Say
good night. And if you're that parent that bonus parent that happens to step in and is adding value to that family, kudos to you.
Whether it's the mama or the daddy.
Kudos to you.
And if it's working, keep it on. Live your best life.
Yeah.
Keep pushing.
Yeah. God bless y'all.
It does not mean you weak.
Absolutely doesn't. She's weak for saying that. Okay, I'm done.
All right. Well, this has been Moments with the Mobley. Subscribe, people. Stop looking at our videos.
Babe.
This has been Moments with the Mobleys. I am your man, Johnnie Mobley Jr., that I've subscribed to my own
And I'm his wife, Deirdra Mobley.
And we are something like an ordinary couple. Please
with
subscribe.
Extraordinary purpose. Night-night.
Subscribe.
Night-night.
Subscribe.
Peace out.
Subscribe.